Hello everybody and welcome back to another series. I did a ULC tutorial series, but now I'm making a full Sans car game from scratch, and I'm teaching you guys how to do it. I want to announce that we have a Discord server. We've had one for a while now, actually. It has around 500, 600 members. I forgot the number. But it's pretty cool. It's chill. It's for Roblox developers of like Undertale games mostly. But you can also just join there to chat out with, me and other people. It's pretty awesome. You can ask for help there. And yeah, it's pretty chill. Okay, so remember, for our first part here, we're just going to be making the round system, so there's not going to be any maps or anything. So, for a round system, the first thing we need is obviously a timer. So that's very easy to set up. So we're going to make a folder for all of our game values, actually. So we're just going to click on Workspace, press the plus button, and then type in folder, and then you just put one in. So we're going to rename this to... what's a good name? Game values. Let's do that. Game values. Just one word. This is for just values. I like to name this because it just looks professional, I guess. So yeah, this is where all of our game values will be stored, including the timer value. Now, a timer is a number. I'm going to make a future tutorial where I change it to minutes and seconds, but for this particular tutorial, we're just going to make it count down without any minutes at all. Just seconds. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a number value into the folder. This number value. Then we're going to rename this to timer. Just like that. Okay. Timer. And now we can set the value of this in properties right here. We're going to set this to whatever we want to. This will be our lobby timer. So the time it takes for us to get into the match. We don't have any lobby stuff in it, like a shop or anything, and it'll be quite boring for now because there's nothing much here. So I think I'm just going to set it 10 seconds, so be in the lobby 10 seconds, and then put into the round. Yeah, okay. So now we have our timer value and our game value stuff, it's all set up. Awesome sauce. Okay, now we can start the UI. Let's go to Starter GUI right here. I'm going to add in a screen GUI. Just a couple important things to make note of this is that I recommend you only have one screen GUI, maybe 3 maximum, but I recommend keeping everything in one screen GUI because it is possible and it just looks neater. So we rename this to like, let's see here. Let's rename this to like main GUI. So I'm gonna call it main GUI. So you have it set up now. Okay. So an important property to enable in this thing here is ignore GUI and set. So actually I can show you what this does right now. If we insert a text label in here, so just put a text label, this thing right here, just press plus and then text label. So this is here, right? We're gonna put this at the top of the screen, right here. And we're just gonna press play. And if you notice, it's not actually at the top of our screen, but rather it's kind of at like the bottom-ish. It's like below, it's like not even at the top of the screen. The reason why this happens is because Roblox has its own UI. It takes up a certain space of the screen, which is the GUI that's inset like automatically at the beginning of the game. So notice these two things, they kind of stretch out all the way to the end of the right side, like over here. So in order to be able to bypass this, we just have to turn on ignore GUI and set. So now we're going to ignore the GUI that's already been set up by Roblox. And we're going to be able to set it up there. So now, if you play, we'll notice our text label is actually at the top of the screen. So awesome sauce. For a text label, remember, insert this if you haven't already. We're going to rename this to timer text, or timer, whatever you want to name it, but for this tutorial I'm going to be doing timer text. Perfect. Okay. Now, we're going to be able to edit our text. So I'm going to be turning this to scaled. Text scaled, it's going to fit around the box, perfect like that. Then we can change the text. I'm going to change it to loading, because this should always show the timer text, so if it's not doing that, then I would assume that it's loading, or there's no players in the match, but we'll get to that later. So I'm going to turn the background transparency to 1. Now let's turn the text color to white. Just like that. If you notice, it looks kind of bland to those, nothing much like a pizzazz to it. So let's change the font. I'll be changing it to press start 2 player. And now it's up here. And then I think it looks a little bland still. So we're gonna add in a UI stroke. So press the plus button and then type in UI stroke. Again, this is all not necessary, but it just makes it look a lot cleaner. So if you notice, there's like a little, like very small, thin black line around our text. You can make that thinner. Make the thickness, or thicker. We can do thickness to 3, and as you know, it looks a little better. And now, one last thing, we can make this look a little more shiny and stylish if we just add in the UI gradients. So now we just go to color and properties, and we press the 3 buttons here, and then we can change this color thing to gray or any other color, even red if you wanted to. But I think maybe a green or a white really fits in with the white color for me. So I kind of want to do it like this, and then if you notice here, the color's changed. If you wanted to, we can also click here, and we have like a little line now. We can push this across, and you'll notice that our text up there is being changed rapidly. But yeah, I'm gonna let it be like around here. Yep, that's good. So it looks a little shiny now, looks better. And yeah, alright, so it looks like a timer text is fully set up. It looks cool. So I want to make sure it's always at this place, depending on the device though. Sometimes the device won't show up properly. I'll show you what I mean by this. We go to View, or if you go to Test, right, and then you click on Device, you'll notice that a device has changed, and now it's on like a phone template. So if we notice on a phone, it looks like really big, kind of. It kind of looks a little too intrusive. It looks fine, but it's a little intrusive for me. It's around the same size as the one on the computer. So what we can do is we can go to plugins, and you can install this plugin called Auto Scale Lights, and it'll be able to automatically size this to whatever device you're on, to the one that you set on here. So I'll put it in the link in the description if you want to use it. But if you are using it, then press unit conversion, and then you're gonna see scale, and offset for the position and size. We just want to type in, we just want to put in scale and scale. The offset is not really needed, but if you want to, then you can. So yeah, okay. Now, if we go to test and then check our phone, we'll notice that it sizes depending on the device now. So now it's not as big and intrusive, so it's a little bit smaller. So that's pretty cool. Alright, awesome. So now our timer's set up. We got that all edited. Awesome sauce. Okay, now we can get to the actual scripting part. First thing that I want to do is create the counting down system. So we're going to go to server script service, and we're going to insert in a script. So this is our main script. We're going to put all the round data in here for us, transporting between the round, the lobby, all that stuff. Okay, so first thing we're going to be doing is we want to get the timer to tick down. This number value. Remember, we set this to 10 earlier, so you want to tick that down. So we can easily do that, actually. First, we need to call in this game values thing. We need to make a variable. A variable is something that you can use to define later in your code. Like this game values folder, we can normally just type in game, so we're accessing the game here with this game thing, right? So the entire game. Game.workspace, so this is a service. This workspace little earth thing right here, we're accessing this now, so we can access anything inside the workspace. Workspace dot game values. So we can access it just like this, but it'd be annoying to type this every single time you want to get to the game values folder. So instead, what we can do local G values, or actually we can just name it game values. It could be anything, but I'm gonna just make it game values to stay consistent. Equals, so we create a variable here, and now we can make this anything we want to do, anything we need. So I'm just gonna do game.workspace.gameValues. So there we go. You can add find first child if you know what that is, but I won't be doing that. I'll teach you what that is later if you don't know. But yeah, there we go. So game values is defined, so we don't need to access that by typing game.workspace.gameValues anymore. We already have the folder set up here, so we can just type in game values, and it's set up there. Awesome. So now let's get the timer. We can do local timer equals game values dot timer. So now we have the timer. Awesome. And now we need to make it tick down. This is super easy to do. we can type in while true do, and then enter. So every second or frame in this game is going to be running whatever is in this code. We have nothing yielding it, we have nothing stopping it, it is just always going to do that. In fact, if I put something like, if I put something in here, then it might even crash the game because it's running every frame, and Roblox Studio normally can't handle it, so don't try to do that. So what we can do to stop this is that we can replace true with task.wait, and now this is a yielding type line where we can kind of wait for the code to activate. So every whatever number you put in here, it'll activate this code. So I'm going to put in while task.wait 1. You can do wait as well, but task.wait is a much more accurate number. So task.wait 1. So whatever happens in here is going to happen in the game now every 1 second. So we can do while task.wait run, task.wait 1. Every 1 second, we're going to be subtracting the timer. So we can do this by doing timer.value. So we're accessing the value of the timer that we set to 10, remember? If anything, actually at the top of the code here, we can set this to timer.value equals 10. So now no matter what, when the game starts, when a server is ran in Roblox Studio, the timer will always be set to 10. Not really needed, but it will come into play later. So now we can do timer.value minus equals 1. The reason why we're doing minus equals 1 is because this is the most efficient way to subtract a value by just a number, because normally you'd have to do something like timer.value equals timer, or timer.value minus 1. So this is like a really long piece of code, and we don't really want that, so we can just do timer.value minus equal 1. So awesome. So now every 1 second, this timer value will be decreasing. So now if we play the game right now, press play, our value is currently ticking down every 1 second. And we can notice this because if we switch our client to the server, this little computer thing up here, if we switch this to the server, we'll be able to see the server of the game. If we go to workspace, and then go to our game values folder right here, then go to our timer, you'll notice down here in the properties that it's ticking down every 1 second. So it's going to negatives now because we have nothing stopping it from doing that, but it's ticking down now. But it's not actually showing on this UI, is it? It's not ticking down yet. So this is easy to do, once again. We're just going to go to our GUI and we're going to insert in a local script. So we're making another script because we want to control the text, and text and UI are usually controlled by local scripts, which are client-sided, which mean it only happens to the player in that screen. So like if we were changing this on a server script, which you shouldn't be doing that, then this would be happening to every single player. Every single player would have the exact same UI on the screen, and we don't usually want that because that's just not efficient. So let's go ahead and destroy the print hello world, and we can rename this local script to, what's it? We'll just do this local main. I'll just do that. Okay, now we can start our game. We can start coding this. First thing we can do, we can go back to our script actually, our main script, and we can copy all of this. Control C. Then go to our local script, Control V, and we put this in here. So local scripts, it is weird. They don't usually grab these values because the game is immediately starting and it needs time to process it. The server doesn't need as much time. It just pretty much from the get-go does it, so you don't really need this on the server. But usually, you want to put wait for child before when grabbing something. So like game.workspace game values, it might not have enough time to get that. So we can just do colon wait for child, and what this does is we're waiting for this game values folder to load in before we activate anything. So that way, when the code runs, it doesn't try to immediately grab that when it hasn't even loaded in yet. So typically, you can do this on the server too, and it might even be more efficient to just do that on the server as well. But for now, we don't really need it, so we're just going to do it in the local script only. So we're game.works wait for child game values. So nothing's going to run until we have the game values folder. And we can do the same for the timer. We can do game values, wait for child, timer. now we can start the actual coding. So this is also super simple to do. We can just do timer dot changed. So actually we're accessing timer right here, right? And then we're doing dot changed. So whenever it does exactly what it's telling you as you're typing it in, right? It says here fires on the number value that value is changed. So whenever the number values change, so we're subtracting it every 1 second, right? Whenever it is changed, whatever we're gonna enter here happens. So I'm gonna show you. Dot changed, and then this is a function, if I remember. So we have to do connect function. If we go up here and we go to local text or timer text equals script dot parent. So script.parent, it's when we're accessing the script, right, that we're writing this in. So the script is what we're writing in, and then the parent of it, which is the main GUI, which has the timer text inside of it. So you do script.parent, wait for child, timer text. So the text set up here, we have the text, we've grabbed it. Now we can change the timer, and we can just start it off. We can do timer text dot text. So the text is a property of the text label. And we can change it to where we want. We set it to loading earlier, but we can change it here. So the text will be equal to, and all we have to do is just put in timer dot value. So whatever the timer value is after it's changed will be the text label time. Okay, so now we can test this out. And look at that, our timer has been set. We can see it ticking down here. 3, 2, 1. 0, and as you can see, there we go. -2, -3, -4, all that jazz. Awesome sauce. Okay. So now that we have all that set up, we can start implementing the actual rounds now. We're not going to add in the stands and car stuff yet. The teams will be in another episode, but we can start in by identifying what is the round in the lobby, right? Alright, so now we can set up our functions in our server script here. We can do local function, and we can type in whatever function name. So we're gonna do lobby here. So this is the function of our lobby. So actually, yeah, we can do print lobby here, and we'll set this function so that whenever the lobby happens, if we want anything to happen in the lobby, so we usually want to reset values and stats or whatever. We want to reset the players. So whenever the game ends and the lobby happens, we can call this. We can call the lobby, and it'll be able to print this, whatever is inside of the lobby function here. So we're going to do print lobby, and we're going to put in the print, you're in the lobby. So you're in the lobby right now. And now we need a round 1 too. So we're going to do local function round. And now we can do print, you're in... okay, yeah, that'd be funny. We'll just do both of them misspelled. That'd be pretty funny. You're in the round, kid. Okay, so now we can identify what is in the round and what is in the lobby. So when you start the game, you're in the lobby, right? So we can just put in, we can call it the lobby right here. Lobby, and that's all you need to put. So just lobby right there. Actually, we can, never mind. Okay, so lobby's right here. And now we want to identify when we're in the round. So we're going to be changing this later on, but for now, I'm just going to do, we're just going to do if timer, so if timer dot value is less than 1, then, so whenever the timer dot value is less than 1, so this way it won't hit negatives, so whenever it's less than 1, we're just going to activate the round. There we go. But what if we're in the lobby and we don't have a round? What if we're in the round, right? And the timer.value hits less than 1? Then we'd still be going back to the round, right? Because there's nothing setting up like that in place. So what we can do is add a value in our game values. We can add another one. I want to call this the bool value right here. This is the bool value. That's like a little value you can check on and off, and properties can see it. Boop, 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 check mark right there. So yeah, whenever this is true or false, this is kind of a true or false scenario. So we're checking if something is true or false and blah, blah, blah. So we can rename this to, oh, whoops. We can rename this to in round, just like that. So whenever this is off, you're not in a round, right? But when it's on, then you are in a round. So we can call this back here in our server script too. We can do local round equals game values dot in round. So now we set it up. Now our in round thing is here. So now we can check if this is false or true. So when you're in the lobby, our in round is usually off. So we can set it off here in the lobby. We can do in round round dot value equals false. So setting this to false now because you're not in a round anymore. You're in the lobby. We can do the same with the round, but just the opposite actually. Round dot value. Oh, whoops! Called the function for the round. Round. Okay, so I just noticed. That this round and the round up here can get confusing because there's nothing separating them. So we're just gonna name the round in round actually, and then we're going to change all these to in round whenever we're referencing this in round, just like that. All right, so we're changing this to in round because our function is also called round, so it's gonna get confusing. You don't usually want the same name for functions and variables. So we're gonna set the in round variable dot value to true because now you're in a round. So now down here we can do if timer value is less than 1, then if in round dot value is equal to true, then or equal to true. Sometimes you want to put double equals. It's just a Roblox thing. There's a reasoning behind it, I'm sure, but I don't care to explain it. But if it's equal to true, then you're already in the round, right? So timer value is less than 1, and you're in a round. So you want to set you to the lobby, just like that. So set it to the lobby right there. So it's going to be calling the lobby function now. And then we're going to do else if. This is for else if. So in case this is not true. So else it's not that. Else if in round dot value is equal to false, then we're going to set you to the round, just like that. So whenever you're in the lobby, then you're going to be set to the round, and whenever you're in the lobby, whenever you're in the round, you're going to be set to the lobby. So let's try this out now, actually. Oh, wait, before we want to do that, remember, we want to, if we just set to the round, then the timer isn't set back or anything. There's nothing happens to the timer. It's still going to be counting down to negative. So we're going to have to set this back to a certain number. So how much time do you want the rounds to last? Let's say you want it to last like, I'd say 15 seconds for now, just to test. So I'll be doing timer.value equals 15. There we go. And then we can set in the lobby our lobby time that we want to do. So we can do timer.value. This is why we set it up here earlier, remember? We can actually delete this now because it's just going to be automatically set up by this lobby function. So timer.value equals 10. Okay, so now this should be all good to go. Let's test this out. So we're counting down. As you can see in the output, it says you're in the lobby. It's printing this. You're in the lobby. And then the round has started. So timer set back up to 15. Now it says you're in the round. So the round has started. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then boop. And now I'm back in the lobby. So this is going to loop on and on until it is eventually gone. And I don't know. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Anyways, so this is done. This is my tutorial. We're not done with the whole game, of course. We still have so much to do, but it's just the first episode of the round system. So eventually, we're going to be getting into modeling and also making attacks, weapons, shops, and just a whole bunch of stuff. We haven't gotten to actually separating the teams yet, making the human team and the sands team yet. So we're going to be making that soon, maybe next episode. And yeah, we're going to see what happens, and I can't wait to finish this. Remember to join the Discord server in the description for more help and tips and tricks and talk to other people. Okay, thanks for watching, and goodbye.